quick. So ideal day to play football, I think.
Really is a dangerous day for this football team, though. An 0-8 football team, and I guess we both played the game to know this is not a day that the motivations are probably going to be running as high as you'd like them to be.
No, I don't think they are. I watched some of the players after they dressed up at the college an hour ago, and there was a lot of fun going on out there. And it is tough to get up for 0-8, and they had the big game last week and another big one coming up this next Thursday, a short week. And yeah, it's easy to overlook them. I still think that even if Westmar's 90%, 80%, they should still be able to run over this Dakota State team.
But Dakota State's obviously had the problems, as 0-8 would indicate to you. Offensively, they've been very inconsistent. I guess we can certainly see where they're at with our football team being a young one just a couple of years ago, and we were taking the lumps, and now some of these freshmen and sophomores we were relying so heavily on 2-3 years ago are juniors and seniors, and a very senior-dominated ball club this year, and the results are pretty obvious. We've been able to wail on some people.
That's right. Experience is immeasurable, and it's no matter what level you're playing on, and Westmar has that now, and they've got the depth to go with it. And it's tough for a coach when you're 0-8 or losing like that. Recruiting becomes so important, and it seems like when you're a losing program, you lose the kind of kid you want, and you have to take second best, and makes it even that much tougher to improve them on the field. It sure can be done, but that's right. It's an uphill battle, as we well know on this Westmar program, and that the right combination of leadership can make it. But Westmar is definitely a step ahead of this Dakota State team, and it should be a mismatch, I'll say, but we'll wait and see.
I guess the motivation's going to come today from just the conversations with the NAI National Office this week. For the first time in Westmar's history, there's been some playoff talk this week, and I guess business has got to be taken care of. We're still on the outside looking in, but at least we're in the picture now, and we're being noticed and being watched, and I think we can't afford to disappoint the people that have their eyes on us right now. We can't afford to stumble over an 0-8 football team for sure, and we even better not just barely get by them either. I think we got to come out and really put a lick on them.
Yeah, and I guess if there's any pressure on Westmar, it's that very reason. When it gets down to when you're one of the last few teams chosen for a playoff situation, they start looking at statistics, comparing scores, total points, etc., and on it goes. And it's kind of like Westmar better at least win 40-0 or not going to look good. You don't want to beat an 0-8 team by 6 points or something. So they're going to have to get some points on the board and look impressive here today.
Of course, this Dakota State team is not without some good spots on their ball club. Probably their best talent is in the nose guard spot, Brian Kern, and that's a place Westmar's had a lot of success running the football here in recent weeks. Those quick openers with their fullback Vernon Bolden, and might be tough going inside today.
Well, that'll be the interesting matchup. This offensive line of Westmar's this whole offense, I guess I better just throw everybody in there, has really impressed me. I've seen a lot of Westmar teams, but the progress they've made this year is just incredible as far as what I can tell. And of course some injuries I guess specifically Kelly McClinic feeling better, getting and performing better in the field. But yeah, it's going to be a tough matchup, but this offense can go outside or on the air, so they'll take what they won't give them.
Of course, they're averaging 413 yards a ball game now, total offense. That's pretty good numbers. They're rolling up 32.5 points per ball game. This day, I guess, may belong to Charles Hill. You're talking offense. This guy will become, no doubt, unless something disastrous, knock on wood, had happened to him in the opening moments of his ball game. He only needs 10 yards to set a single-season rushing record. We were talking about it 2 weeks ago, but it hasn't happened yet, but he needs 9 yards to catch Randy Beving to his 1971 mark today of 1,130 yards, and 10 to pass it. I was just talking to him a little bit down on the field before I came up to the booth. He's hoping to do that on the first carry.
Well, yeah, and one would sure obviously assume he'd get it. That's good company, Randy Beving. I can remember I was pretty young, but I used to come up here and watch Westmar play some of their good teams, and he was a great one. And he's in a good company. That's a tough record to handle, and he's stayed healthy all year and having himself a big senior year, and sure like to see him get that record here in front of the home crowd.
Of course, Charles Hill broke his single-game record up in Northwestern 3 weeks ago, and so he's just had a record-setting year. Charles has been complimented well, though, by Kelvin Pierce and Vernon Bolden and Kelly McClinic in the backfield.
That's what's impressed me the most. He's adding up to the big yards, and he's got a lot of yards with him in that backfield, total rushing and passing. That's really an impressive backfield.
Now the national anthem.
Broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous must fight for the moment we watch. We're so gallantly streaming, and the rockets racing, the bombs singing, keep proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, Satan's that star-spangled banner it waves, o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Well, the last of the preliminaries before we kick it off. Big day for seniors. Last home appearance. That's barring any postseason action possibly that could be here at the stadium, but it's the last time for a lot of seniors to play a lot of football here before the hometown fans, Browning.
That sure is, and that means something to them, too, and that's going to help them get a lift here. There's going to be some emotion. They walk off the field knowing that. It's a little worse during the last game of the year, but, and as you said, a lot of these guys play a lot of games on this field, and it's been fun watching them, and I sure like to see them go out in good style here today.
Well, Westmar will be receiving the kickoff, heading toward the west end zone. Kind of talking to Randy Smazel this week. I think he wanted to handle it offensively first, show their defense right away. They're going to be somebody to reckon with this afternoon.
Oh, that's right, and I guess that's the way he's been playing all year. They can put the points up quick, and he wants to got a game next Thursday. I'm sure he'd like to get some big points, but he wants to do it quick and get that first string off the field and start getting them, I guess, prepared and away for next Thursday. So I'm sure Coach Smazel will like to see a lot of points right away.
Al Roush is going to be teeing it up on the 35 for Dakota State. Trojans are out of Madison, South Dakota, incidentally. Just, 30, 40 miles up above Sioux Falls. They really fall upon some hard times for football. And, of course, Larry Trado still has hopes to get this program turned around, but you don't know how much more patience they're going to have with a guy that has won only one of the last 17 ball games. And, of course, a big day for a cameraman, Ron Corey. He's a Dakota State grad and, of course, kind of grew up in that area up there. So I don't think there's any question of who he's rooting for here today, but he's got a little tug of the old heartstring as his old alma mater out here today, playing against the Westmar College Eagles. Got Vernon Bolden back there deep to the left and Todd Skolton back to the right. And up in front of those two people, Kelvin Pierce and Heath Fitzsimmons, in case it's a short one, and we're just about set to get underway this afternoon before an overcast day. The fans still rolling in here, but it's far from capacity. Roush kicks it short, end over end. Pierce going to take it at the 20, 25, 30, 35, and down at about the 36, 37-yard line. Roush, the kicker, up to make the tackle. There's a little hole there. If Roush hadn't been in there to plug it up, he might have been off to the races.
That's right. I thought he had the seam. They had a nice little line there, and all of a sudden he went down, couldn't quite see the hit, but it was definitely timely for Dakota State's behalf.
Well, there's no changes offensively. Todd Skolton, the wideout. Tim Shipley, the tight end. Jeff Waldeisen, John Barton, Wayne Spearing, Tim Pauley, and Byron Bowling up front. Kelly McClintock, the quarterback. The trio in the backfield, Kelvin Pierce and Charles Hill. Flanking, Vernon Bolden, the up back in the wishbone set. Going to go to Vernon Bolden right away. Bolden going to pop up inside right at that nose guard. Brian Kern, 205-pound senior out of Watkins, Minnesota. I'd say Kern probably won the first battle. He didn't go much of anywhere.
That's right, held him to a yard and a half, maybe 2 yards there, but they're going to set up the wishbone, get him looking inside, and start setting up the wide game probably.
Guess the wishbones generally have to be set up with a fullback plunge, don't they?
Yep, you got to get the defense looking at that and thinking that middle man and respecting him. You can't let him go through there untouched.
Second down at 8 to go. McClintock with a long count. Quick pitch, Charles Hill. Charles to the 40, down about the 44-yard line. Well, he didn't get his record on that, but he probably picked up half of it, about 5.
That's right. I think he was going for the record. He kind of overran his blocker there a little bit. He did cut up inside him, but he got about half of it.
And a third down and about 4 coming up for the Eagles from their own 44-yard line. We've got 14 minutes left to go, a minute into this one this afternoon. No score. Westmar heading to the west end zone to open things up. Going with a double wide out. Skolton and White splitting wide to the right and going to go with the deuce backfield now as Vernon Bolden's out of there. Option play. McClintock pitching. Charles Hill juggles. Now he's got it. 2 stiff arms. Breaks a couple of tackles. He's out over the 45, about the 48. Going to be close to the first down, Brownie. I think he got it.
Yeah, it's awful close. We'll probably see a measurement here, but boy, you can see the strength of Charles Hill there. Banged off a couple open field tacklers there and worked up towards the first down.
Got it. 1st and 10. Picked up about 5. Needed 4. Yeah, there's no secret, or I guess it's no surprise he gets the yards he gets. A lot of that's just sheer abilities of the breaking of the tackles.
Tremendous strength there. Those tacklers had a head of steam and just bounced off of him.
Westmar going to go with a pro set now. Deuce backfield, split receivers to both sides. Skolton wide left, Rob White here to the near side, and Hill off tackle the left side, right to the midfield stripe. Good for just a couple of yards. Dakota State felt like they probably played their best game of the year last year in a 21-14 loss, and it took 2 defensive stands inside the 5-yard line in that Arctic frigid cold up there at Madison last year to preserve the ball game. This is a team that, well, Randy Schmazel mentioned it early in the week to us, that as they looked down their schedule to the start of the year, probably felt Westmar is a team they would be able to play with.
Well, I guess we've proved them wrong, and it's obviously been a long, tough year for them, but they're going to hope for another little miracle here today, I'm sure.
Second down at 8 to go. This would make their season if they knock the Eagles off. Pitch out, McClintock to Hill. Hill to the 50, to the 45, 40, and tight ropes that sideline for another first down. Out of bounds on the 40, and that's going to be good for about 8.5, 9 yards, and the Eagles are on the move. This kind of drive, I guess Randy wanted to open the ball game with. Establish domination up there in the front line and move that football steadily toward the goal line.
Well, they're sure doing that now, Danny, just picking away at them on the ground, and again, the ability to do it on the ground and not have to go to the air. That shows a real strong offense, and they're just going to grind it out and wear them down.
Back into the wishbone set now. Vernon Bolden in there into the up back, and Rob White split wide left. Kellen McClintock going to give to Charles Hill. There's the quick opener. 35, 20, 15, 10, 5, and he's down at about the 2-yard line. Hill almost broke it, a 38-yard gallop. He's got the record now, if there was any question.
That's right. I think he might have had it to carry before, but it was a big one there. He did get knocked down on the 1, and it could have been awful close there.
And he's hurt. Charles is still down on his back in the end zone. I kind of kidded him. I said, don't get hurt today with your record-breaking possibilities, and lo and behold, he is down. Somebody kind of chopped him right about the 1-yard line, and looks like they're working on a leg. This could be real tough for Westmar if they have some playoff hopes.
Yeah, I don't know if he knew the man was there, but he took a shot from the side, and the legs went out sideways, and actually why he went out of bounds there, I think the ball momentum carried in the end zone, but the legs went out from him off to the side, and it didn't look right if he hadn't had a foot down. Right.
Well, they're helping Charles off the field. He is putting a little pressure on it, but I guess there might be a little ligament strain there the way he got hit. Boy, we'll hope he's back. He did get the record. Now he's jogging a little bit. Pitch out. Kelvin Pierce, touchdown. Pierce going to take it in for the touchdown. And Westmar jumps in front 6-0. The opening drive carries him about 68 yards. And they're in to score first. Pierce with his 8th touchdown of the year, one short of the number racked up by Charles Hill on this football team. I guess that's what's been the good thing about this team, Brownie. It's so much balance in the scoring department.
That's right, and any one of the 4 backs that line up back there can go all the way with it or from any distance, and they're a potent, balanced backfield.
Well, Mike Morey going to try for his 27th straight extra point. Joe Holmberg with a hold. The kick is up. It looks good from our angle. It's in there. 27 straight, 32 for 34 this year. 12:25 to go first quarter, and Westmar leads it 7-0. Boy, the hush that came over this stadium when Charles Hill went down, but he is jogging a little bit. I don't know whether he's going to try and come back or not.
I don't know. They got him on the sideline now to just take care of him, I guess, and wait for the best.
McPartland's kick sails, now going to be handled deep in the end zone, and they're coming out with it. This is David Kohlberg, and he's going to be tackled at about the 3-yard line. First one down there was Peterson, I believe, Todd Peterson, who's a junior out of Columbus, Nebraska. I'm a little surprised he came out with it, but maybe I guess after he touched it, he had to.
Yeah, he might have been confused. He wouldn't have had to. He could have downed it, I think, but I guess Coach Trado says that's what happens when you're 0-6. Plays like that, and making opportunity for Westmar's defense now to hold them here and really have field position for the next opportunity to have the ball.
Well, not really any changes for Westmar defensively. See Kratzel playing at the nose and Oswald at the tackle. There's the give outside. This is to Stuckert, Dennis Stuckert. They run out of a wishbone, but with a double wideouts, which is a little different than Westmar normally runs their wishbone. And it's going to be Freddie Anderson and Kurt Westhoff, 2 linebackers up there to make the hit. You've got McLeod and Rogers at the end, Utek and Kratzel, and Oswald in the inside trio. Craig Larson's going to play some defensive tackle today. They're down to where they have no backups, so they move Larson from the offense to the defense. Freddie Anderson, Kurt Westhoff for the linebackers. Joe and Frenchie Holmberg, Scott Seeloff, Marcus Hancher in the secondary. Fumble on the center snap, and the quarterback, Brad Skogerbo, freshman out of Sherborne, Minnesota, just kind of dives forward about the 4-yard line. Of Well, this team down right away, and they are beginning to look like an 0-8 football team here in the early going.
That's right. They're sure not helping themselves, Denny, and things are kind of going bad, and that's part of the pressure when you're backed up in the wall like that, and the quarterback was thinking other things and didn't get the snap handle. You got to make that first connection before you're going to run any other play.
Well, in this offensive unit, we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 freshman starters for Dakota State. Pretty tough to win too many football games. You're starting how many freshmen in college football, especially with the schedule of the upper Midwest small college teams. Pretty good football around this year. Back to pass. Skogerball looks. Now throws. Intended for James Tainer, freshman out of Fremont, Nebraska. He slipped coming off the line of scrimmage a little bit, and I think Skogerball just saw that was a wasted play and was going to get rid of it.
That's right. It was a timing pattern, too. The slip might have slowed him up a little bit, and pretty good coverage on it. They had a hard time completing it.
In the back of the end zone to kick it out. He's averaging 40 yards per punt, which is second in District 12. So this is another strength, but he gets a lot of work. Almost blocked. High sailing kick, but he's going to be away from the kick returners. Safford and Holmberg watch it go out of bounds, and Westmar is going to get the ball on the Dakota State 44-yard line. Well, Charles Hill is not in the lineup. I guess that's the word we were looking to see. There's McClintock on the keeper. 45-40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, and he's out of bounds at about the 8-yard line. Trying to get that last block thrown in there was Skolden coming back from the wide side of the field, and he couldn't quite scrape off the last guy.
That's right. Those are tough blocks down there, but they had enough to spring him, and with a pretty play, just kind of a reverse option out of there. It looked like quarterback keeper kind of all the way designed and went for the big gain.
That was a 36-yard run, first and goal on the 9-yard line for Westmar, and they've had some big plays here in the early going. We've got Vernon Bolden and Kelvin Pierce in the backfield. Lined up as a tandem behind Kelly McClintock. 2 wide receivers. Quick pitch. Pierce to the 10, to the 5. And he's out of bounds at about the 2-yard line. That quick pitch just works so well for Westmar with Pierce. He really gets that quick acceleration.
That's right. He gets a good jump on the ball, and just seems like he almost on his own quickness can get around the defensive end, and that's the key man. You got to get to the corner, and he always seemed to be able to do it.
Picked up 7. It's going to be second down and goal to go at about the 2-yard line. 10:35 to go first quarter. It's 7-0 Westmar, and they're threatening for more. Charles Hill apparently is going to sit this one out. He looked like he wanted to come back in, but they're going to use him for precaution. I think keep him on the sideline. Vernon Bolden in for the score. Bolden on just a dive straight into the middle. Bolden with his 4th touchdown of the year. And Westmar goes in front 13-0, and Mike Morey out to try the point after. We'll do the spot, and the kick is up. And this one's good. That's 28 straight now for Mike Morey. And the Westmar Eagles go up 14-0. Jim McPartland, freshman out of Sheldon's, got her teed up to the left hash mark at the 35. Kickoff is going to be short. End over end. Going to be taken at about the 18, 20, 25, and that's going to be the end of the line right there. Kickoff return by Kelly Jorgensen, junior out of Hurley, South Dakota, and the Trojans will put her in play at the 27-yard line. 1st and 10 right there. Again, Brad Skogerball, a freshman quarterback out of Sherburne, Minnesota, comes in to run the attack. Dennis Stuckert, Todd Embrock, and Terry Wicks are the 3 running backs. Wicks scored 2 touchdowns in last year's game. He's probably their top rusher at about 245 yards. They don't have a 300-yard rusher on their ball club, and Westmar's got 3 people that are over that, and a 4th that's approaching that. In motion is Stuckert. They're out of a deuce backfield. Skogerball back to pass. Going to throw for Stuckert. It's going to be out of bounds at about the 31-yard line. He's only going to get about, or did he catch? Apparently he's out of bounds. It looks like they're going to bring it back to the line of scrimmage. So incomplete. Trojans up to the line of scrimmage. They're going to go with a shotgun formation. This is their spread. Back to pass. Skogerball taking a look. Wants to go long. Nobody's even there. And Joey Holmberg's going to drop the ball. He had her right in his grasp and then dropped it. Kind of got turned around. Got a flag down. Back up field, though. Oswald was there and may put a late hit on the quarterback. At least where the flag was thrown, that's what you got a suspicion.
Yeah, the ref watched it all the way, and it definitely I would judge that as a late hit. And that's going to be a first down for him. We still don't want these kind of mistakes.
Their first down of the ball game as it moves the ball out to the 41-yard line. 1st and 10, again from the spread and the shotgun formation. Stuckert in motion to the right. Skogerball going to swing one out here to Stuckert on the sidelines. He'll make the catch, but only for about a yard. Seeloff up there to make the hit on him. Nearing the 10-minute mark here in the first quarter, it's 14-0. Westmar scoring of their first 2 possessions. Vernon Bolden going in from the 2-yard line, and Kelvin Pierce scoring from 2 yards away. And Westmar has done about everything, I guess, Brownie, they wanted to do here early in the ball game.
Well, definitely. They've so far the offense has been just almost perfect, and defense has done a great job. And so far they want to hold them here on this drive, but tip-top shape so far.
Skogerbo from the shotgun, heavy rush. McLeod was right there. Pass going to be complete out to Kohlberg. David Kohlberg makes the catch at about the 47, down near midfield. It'll be short of a first down, I believe, yet by about a yard or two. Kurt Westhoff was there to make the hit. LeMars senior product. And it's going to be 3rd and about a yard to go. Ball's linked into Westmar real estate for the first time today. That was good for about 8 yards. 3rd and about a yard, and they're back into their wishbone set again. Skogerbo going to give to Stuckert. Stuckert is going to be hit right about the line of scrimmage, but he fell forward. This could be close, Brownie.
That's right. He had a good effort just to get to the line of scrimmage. Someone made contact behind the line of scrimmage, and he just wiggled up there, and boy, it's going to take a measurement here.
At a half-a-yard gain and 4th down. Skogerbo staying in the ballgame. Looks like they're going to go for it, trailing 14-0 with 8:29 to go in the opening quarter. And all indications are they're going to stick with the offense on the field. Kelly Jorgensen, a backup wideout, is coming into the ballgame, and they're coming up to the line of scrimmage.
Won't be every drive they get beyond the 50-yard line, I'm sure, and that's why the coach, I think, wants to take a shot at it.
Going to give him the dive to Stuckert. He's got the first down. Penetration to about the 43-yard line, or about the 48-yard line, and that should be enough for the first down. But there again, he didn't get it by much. Freddie Anderson met him at the pass and took him down, but it's enough for the first down, and the sticks move. I know Randy Schmazel has that there. 2 weeks ago against Peru State, he took what looked like quite a gamble on 4th down, clinging to a 14-9 lead back in their own territory. He said, if we feel if we're the kind of football team we claim we want to be, we've got to be able to make that kind of yardage.
Well, that's right. If it's under a yard, you should be able to, but sometimes they're tough.
Skogerbo in the shotgun again. Westhoff on a blitz. Throw for Jorgensen on the sidelines, incomplete. This Skogerbo doesn't appear to have a real strong arm, Browning.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't look too handy on his feet either, and he's taking a few shots back here, and I think he might have a long day ahead of him. But, yeah, he's had a hard time even completing these little outs, roll out, and just 5 yards down the line. So he's struggling here a little bit early.
They have given up over 200 yards passing for 3 straight games now, so people are beginning to figure out it's tough to run on them, and they're going to have to go to the air. Skogerbo hit as he let her go, tipped up in the air, and Anderson couldn't get there. As who was that out on the side there, trailing that swing back? That's Kratzel out there on pass coverage.
Yeah, I don't understand that. They had I guess there wasn't a blitz on. Westhoff came from over there too, but this quarterback.
7:37 to go, opening quarter, 14-0 Westmar. Skogerbo back to pass, airing it out downfield. It's going to be incomplete. Pass intended for James Tainter, or check it, Kohlberg. David Kohlberg running the fly down the sideline, and Frenchie Holmberg and Scott Seeloff are back there covering. 4th down and 10, back to punt. It's going to be Brandsrud. He should be able to pin Westmar deep in the hole with his punting abilities. Again, they came for the block. Kicks it away from Safford. Cujo going to chase it out of bounds at about the 8-yard line. Nice punt by Brandsrud, who again averaged about 40 yards per punt. And let's see where they mark it for sure. Going to be about a 40-yarder, about right on the average. That's the worst field position for Westmar today. They have driven 41 yards and 68 yards for touchdowns today, and now they're 92 yards away from the end zone. There's to get a Bolden, and he was met at the pass. Getting up there was Phil Barrios, a senior out of El Paso, Texas, to make the hit on him. A lot of the Westmar kids come from Florida, Brownie. They had quite an influx of El Paso kids last year to Dakota State. Didn't have a lot of success with them, and a lot of those kids went home. Coach Trado said we sent some of them home. It wasn't exactly a marriage made in heaven for them.
That's always an adjustment for any player coming that far, and that's been a little problem with Westmar to keep them here. It's a big adjustment moving up to the Midwest in the cold.
McClintock, quarterback keeper to the left side of the 10 to the 15, out to about the 20-yard line. It'll be enough for the first down. A lot of successes on that quarterback sweep today.
That's right. Well, it adds another running back, gets you another blocker out there, and a lot of times the quarterback hands the ball off, and he's an idle player. He's out of the play, and this way it kind of gets him into the action, and he's definitely an able runner.
Looking at a 1st and 10 from the 20. Option play, pitch out, Bolden, 20, 25, 30, fumbles the football, and right there was Todd Skolton to pounce on it. Enough for the first down again, though, out to about the 37-yard line. Somebody got a hold of it and just drug it out of there. I believe number 85 for Dakota State, Kurt Latow, a cornerback, drug the ball out of there, and that's kind of a popular tackling trend there, just to grab the point and pull hard on the arm.
That's right. If you're got your feet on you, you can do it. That's what the good defensive backs will do. Got it free, but Westmore had plenty of more blue shirts around there, and they were white. It shows there were people downfield blocking, and they were there to recover.
6 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Got Heath Fitzsimmons up there now in the up back spot. Vernon Bolden's moved back to Charles Hill spot, and they're going to give to Bolden, or Pierce, I should say, and he goes nowhere. Pierce going to be hit at about the 35. He's going to lose a couple of yards on that play. Charles Hill, all indications are, just for precaution, if nothing else, they maybe shelved him for the day.
Yeah, he's on the sideline, and I originally looked like they were working on the knee, but I see his ankle is wrapped and probably has ice on it. You talk about the Thursday game, it's pretty quick to have to come back, so I'm sure they don't want to stretch or strain or pressure that ankle at all.
Again, he was hurt on the first drive, set up the first touchdown with a 38-yard run. Downfield, Skolton's wide open, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. First Westmar pass, and boy, that wishbone really can set up a passing game, and Westmar has used that to perfection for the last 4 weeks now.
Well, that was it. That was just like they lulled him to sleep, and those cornerbacks are going to come out and make the play, and it was just that nice play-action fake. And man, I could have completed that one, Danny. He was wide open. That was pretty.
Yeah, he's about 15 yards behind the secondary. That's 75 yards. Skolton making his fourth pass catch of the year, his second in as many weeks. And for McClintock, he has now thrown 9 touchdown passes, has not thrown an interception since the Doane game back in late September. That ill-fated interception that took us out of a possible winning field goal situation in the last couple of minutes of that ball game. Bad snap, took a one-hopper, but Joey Holmberg got it down. Boy, talk about good holders. Holmberg saved that extra point, and Morey put it through for his 29th straight. Westmar leading at 21-0 with 5:13 to go in the first quarter. Well, McQuartland's got her teed up on the left hash mark. Don't forget the alumni basketball game a week from Saturday, or this next Saturday, I should say, be a chili supper. And then the alumni basketball game. Stuckert takes the kickoff at the 9 to the 15, 20, 25, down at about the 27-yard line, and there's Paul Safford down to make the hit for Westmar College. And putting the finishing touches on, Trent Quick, who's become a special man here on this 1987 football team. Playing time here in the last 4 weeks, too, Brownie.
That's right. When you score so much, well, you're on there 8, 9 times a game sometimes.
Skogerbo back to pass, a lot of time. Goes down the field for Kohlberg, in and out of his hands. Got behind Joe Holmberg, and Joey misplayed that one. I think he thought it was going to be thrown a little under the mark, and he was cutting in front. And then Kohlberg got in behind him. Well, this Westmar team is 3 for 3 driving the football in this first half. A 92-yard drive. They ruled that touchdown pass a 64-yarder. There's a pass towards Stuckert, and he dropped it. I think he heard the footsteps there, Brownie, as Anderson and McLeod and Seeloff are all closing fast on the play. Well, looks like Dakota State's pretty well committed to the pass totally. There's Skogerbo. He was going on a quarterback keeper this time, tried to get around the end, and he's down to the 25-yard line. Looking at fourth down now at about 11 to go. He'll lose a yard of the play. Football action being brought to you today by the leader, by the LeMars Beauty College, Plymouth Plumbing and Heating, by Augie's, Susie's Deli, Hopkins Drug, Stevens Cleaners, Ben Franklin, Mount Drug, J.C. Penney, B&H Tire, Behind the 8 Ball, First National Bank, and Vollmer Shoes. And we got Bransrud back to do the punting with 4:25 to go. First quarter, 21-0 Westmar. They've driven 68, 41, and 92 yards. Doesn't seem to matter where they're out of the field. They're able to get it into the end zone, and this Dakota State team has not put up much resistance today. Punt's going to be short. Safford takes it at the 40, 45, dives to about the 49-yard line. Safford needed one good block to get started and get to the wall, and he might have been off to the races. Got flags down all over the place. Back up field, though. Has to be 15 yards against the Trojans. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Jeffrey Merrill's been ejected from the ball game. Must have been a few fisticuffs back up field. Yeah, this goes along with losing sometimes, too. You have a little problem that way.
I can relate, Danny. I remember a few years that we lost like this, and boy, it's not fun out there, and especially when you get jumped on so quick like this. And so dominated. These guys are out there to win. They probably believe they can when they come out here, and it's still tough on them.
Good to have you aboard on cable channel 20 on this Sunday night. If you're just joining us, you won't see number 32 out there probably for the rest of the afternoon. After setting the single-season rushing record of the first drive, Charles Hill went out with an injured, what appears to be an ankle. We'd earlier thought it was a knee. McClintock on the keeper, and he'll be inside the 30 to about the 29-yard line. Westmar, after the penalty, starts their drive from the 37, so this is the closest to the end zone they have started today. 3:47 up to go in the first quarter. Westmar's 3 for 3 on the drives, 21-0. They lead it. They've got off to the fast start. Coach Smaisel says he didn't expect this team to be flat. He says since the 2 losses in September, we've taken it 1 day at a time, 1 game at a time, and they have approached this one to the right mental state. Heath Fitzsimmons off tackle, and Fitzsimmons is going to carry to about the 27-yard line. Tackle going to be made for the Trojans by number 70, Brian Kern. It's that senior nose guard we talked about out of Watkins, Minnesota. He was an all-district player, all-conference player last year, and he leads the team in tackles. Other sports-minded firms bringing you Westmar football today: TJ's Antiques, Sousa Mill Standard, LeMars Savings Bank, the LeMars Truck Haven Cafe, Gertis Pharmacy, Adler's, Williams & Company, and Sweet 16 Lanes. Westmar going from the deuce backfield with split receivers to both sides. 3:08 to go in the first quarter. McClintock, here's that quarterback keeper. Oh, down he goes. He'll go down for a loss this time. Somebody missed a block up front because shooting through there virtually untouched was number 95, Brent Forrest, a senior out of Clark, South Dakota.
Dakota State was blitzing, I think, everybody plus the ball boy on that one, Denny, and I guess they had enough people coming through no matter what they did, as long as it was a running play. They had a body there. Had there been a screen or something, that would have been trouble for them. Took a gamble and it paid off.
Speaking of ball boys, we had one ejected last week for Huron up there. I have never heard of that before, but that's how wild things got on the road last week.
He was a bigger, older ball boy than what normally ball boys are.
One of their injured players, I think somebody told me. He got a little too involved in some of the sideline activities. Pitch out. Kelvin Pierce, little stop and go. Now up the field, and he's down at about the 32-yard line. Dakota State played that sweep pretty well. They really got out there and covered the flat.
That's right. I was impressed. The tackler came out and made a good tackle. Pierce is tough to catch out there. He puts the move on you, and he's so fast, but they took him right down and going to stop him here.
Now, Westmar went on at 4th down, and they were in 4-down territory, didn't get it. So for the first time today, Dakota State's defense has kind of swallowed some pride a little bit, and they have stopped him as they have come up with their first big defensive stand of the day, and that was Westmar's best field position. 2:17 to go first quarter. 21-0 Westmar. Dakota State takes over offensively. Skogerbo out of the shotgun. Rolling to the left. Drops one out here to Stuckert, and in and out of his hands. Joey Holmberg had a bead on him and was drawing a beat on that bullseye mark. Again, Skogerbo out of the shotgun. 2nd down and 10 from the 32. There's a give to Stuckert. Stuckert trying to get wide. Nothing there. They turned that one into a loss as McLeod got across that line of scrimmage, the defensive end, and just kind of shut the whole thing down. See Freddie Anderson and Kratzel, McLeod, of course, UTEC, everybody from the front 2 lines, I guess the front line and the 2 linebackers were there, Brownie.
That's called penetration, I guess, defensive penetration.
3rd down at about 14 yards to go. Back to pass. Skogerbo's in motion, steps up into the pocket. Now he's ad-libbing up to the 30. Gets back to about the 32, the original line of scrimmage. And Frenchie Holmberg comes up to make the hit on him. And Kurt Westhoff is there. And, well, it was Oswald, not Frenchie. Oswald and Westhoff were there to make the hit on him. So Westmar reacted to the quarterback scramble pretty well. Other members of our sports-minded firms here that's helping us cover Westmar football: Neats and Grubbs, Custom Interiors, Evans Clothing, Godfather Pizza, Arnold Motor Supply, Steel Ford, Schuster Grain, Wells Blue Bunny, Country Kitchen, and Reardon Auto. And Brantsrud back to do the punting. Oh, he hammered a beaut away this time. Safford back to about the 24. Holmberg lays a block for him. 30, 35. Down he goes at about the 39-yard line. Westmar's going to bring it up right there. Pearson Bolden in the backfield behind Kelly McClintock, the quarterback. There's Bolden, big hole off the left side, and Bolden out over the 45, about the 48-yard line. That's 8 yards quickly, and up to make the tackle from the secondary. Going to be number 12, Tim Russi, junior out of Rutland, South Dakota. Right now, the Trojans get a lot of tackles out of their secondary, Brownie.
Boy, they're the last people, and that was the case there. Boy, that thing would just pop through there so quick. It's really fun to watch offense like this operate.
Westmar's going away now a little bit from their wishbone. more than they probably like to with a 21-0 lead. 25 seconds to go in the first quarter, but Charles Hill out, injured, probably on the shelf for the rest of the day. Option play, no McClintock. Back to pass, got Rob White out here, wide open. Can't quite catch up to it at about the 10-yard line. Right there, but Russi was in the vicinity, and White just had to go out the fingertips. That's one that could have been caught, just was. Third down, and a short yard to go over the first down. Back into the wishbone set. Heath Fitzsimmons running the up back. McClintock on the quarterback sneak for the first down right to the midfield stripe at the 50. There are all those linemen about 5 yards further downfield, Bronny. A good explosion off the football.
That's right. They just keep pushing and keep working, and the play's not over till the whistle blows, and that's why they're playing 100% out here.
Well, Westmar, you talk about the long pass plays. They're starting to look more and more statistically like those good Oklahoma-type wishbone teams. All the receivers averaging up there in the 22 to 29 yard per pass catch area now. So that's a sign you go in with a long ball quite often. And that's going to be the end of the first quarter with that. 21-0 Westmar after a period of play. Well, good to have you aboard of the cable on this Sunday night. Keith Brown, Denny Callahan calling Westmar football. Hopefully this won't be our last home game of the year. Possibly some playoff postseason action here, but a lot of football to play yet before we talk that in that regard. And there's Pierce trying to spin out of there inside, and he's stopped for virtually no gain. By Vern Anderson Equipment, by Newble Chevrolet, Cruz and Cruz CPA, Sod's Bar and Grill, Bucky and Foxy's Highlight, Timmy's Cafe, Jean's Plumbing and Heating, Kitchens Incorporated, the Pizza Hut, Hotop Jewelry, Taylor Auto, Joe's Movie House, and Appliance in Video City. Now they're in the wishbone. Heath Fitzsimmons moves to the up back. Vern Bolden's back there where Charles Hill normally plays. Option play, pitch out. Whoa, is he hit? Somebody missed a block, and now we got a flag back upfield. They're going to throw right at John Barton. A little altercation back upfield. Russi, I think, came across and made a good hit from the strong safety spot. And again, personal foul going to be involved. Is that against Westmar?
Oh, I'm sure it was. I didn't see the play, but threw the flag and hit the guy I think he was throwing it at, and he came right up and signaled it. So it's going to be, or no, it'll be against Dakota State.
Yeah,
I guess.
Dakota.
I take that back, right.
I thought they announced it a PA against the Eagles, but I thought the indication was against Dakota State, so we got misled there by Wayne Mitchell.
The quarter break switched me too. I was going right left to right here.
Another personal foul penalty against the Trojans. That'll move Westmar to the 32-yard line. Out of the wishbone, McClintock gives back up inside to Vern Bolden. Bolden going to hammer it about the 26-yard line. Up to make the tackle is going to be number 10, Phil Barrios, out of El Paso. And it's going to be gain of about 7, second down and 3 to go. 13:40 to play in the first half. Westmar's just chewing up chunks of yardage here about as they want to.
That's right, and there aren't many 1 or 2 yards pickups. A lot of these 5, 6, and 7 yard gainers, and then with an exceptional breaker in between there, the long play they execute. So it's fun to watch them here.
Rob White going to split wide to the right out of the wishbone set. Kelly McClintock with a long count. Here's the option. Pitch out. Vern Bolden. Bolden trying to stiff arm his way upfield, and he'll dive to about the 23-yard line. Can't catch the number of the Dakota State Trojan who was out there and strung that all out. Brent Forrest, defensive tackle out of Clark, South Dakota, got out there to kind of string that all out. Defensively, this Trojan team's probably more sound than they are offensively, and that's pretty obvious. They've got a lot of seniors, 3 seniors playing in that interior, and that's definitely got to be their strength of this 2 platoons.
That's right, and they've made some big plays and some nice defensive plays, and they tackle pretty well. They're impressing me on the corners, how well they come up and make some plays. So I think the better, as you said, the better personnel is definitely on the defensive unit.
Third down at about a long yard to go. They're just inside the 25, about the 23-yard line. McClintock got him set at a wishbone. Skolton split wide to the left side, back to pass. Skolton right down the middle, wide open, touchdown. 24 yards. Skolton with his second TD pass catch today. And the 5th of his season. Skolton, one of those seniors that'll need to be replaced next year. And I think he's, caught 2 passes today and 17 for the season now, both for touchdowns. And for McClintock, his 9th TD pass of the year against just 3 interceptions. Morey going to try to stay perfect on the afternoon. This one's up and good. And that's 4 for 4 today, 30 straight he's got going. And Westmar's up 28-0, scoring on 4 of their 5 possessions here in this first half. Tim McPartland going to kick it off, end over end, going to be taking it about the 10 to the 15-20. Kohlberg looks for the 25, and he gets out to about the 27, 28-yard line. Westmar will bring the defense onto the field. This offense driving so effectively today and putting together some good 3-4 minute drives, and defense really haven't had to play much football.
No, they sure haven't. That's an ideal game, I guess, and it's basically it's kind of a scrimmage out here right now. They're doing about anything they want to.
You're talking about the record we set for a half against Concordia. It may be in jeopardy of falling. 43-0. We led Concordia here 4 weeks ago at homecoming. It's 28-0. Still 12 minutes, 18 seconds left before halftime. This is not even a team that measures up to Concordia right now.
No, definitely not.
There's a blitz by Westhoff getting back to the quarterback. Look out, and down he goes, and Westy's got him back at about the 19-yard line. If he'd have let her go on his first pump fake, he'd probably been all right, but he pumped and held on, and that allowed Westhoff time enough to fend off a blocker and get in there.
That's right, and good coverage downfield, too. He might have probably liked to throw him, but there's nobody open, so he had to eat it out.
This is a time in the game when Westmar's had some penalty problems. I don't believe they have a penalty today that I can recall.
Not yet, and that is a little unusual. They've kind of had a problem in that area, but I guess it's one of those perfect games so far.
It's an area they've tried to heal. They know they had to get better at it, be more disciplined, and they're trying to do better at that. And so far today, it's, as you mentioned, Brownie, just about a perfect football game they've played to this point. Skogerbo back to pass, steps up in the pocket. Now McLeod's got him, and he's going to go down, sacked again inside the 15 at about the 14-yard line. Ball came out of there, but the ground forced the fumble. It was already stopped, and Westmar defensively isn't even getting a good read right now.
That's right. McLeod had a great job, had a blocker on him. He kept his feet on the ground, kept the man down in front of him, and kept on the ground and made the big play.
I know this is not a team that's got a lot of skilled people, it looks like, and they're not a real fast team or quick team either. It doesn't look like they possess any of those assets.
No, and I guess a lot of them are young, and they're just a year out of high school, and in a sense they look kind of like a high school team out here in certain areas, and they haven't gone to the good back either.
Yeah, this Wicks kid hadn't touched the ball yet. Kind of wonder how sound he is physically. Of course, they've about abandoned the running game totally. Must not be that great a pass catcher. Back to pass. Skogerbo, look out. Sandwich just got it away into an open area and wasted it. But it was UTEC and I believe McLeod coming in there to make a sandwich hit on the quarterback at the last minute. He's getting a little gun shy back there now, too. He's beginning to feel heat. Bransrud back at about the goal line to punt this one away. We got Safford and Holmberg back to do the punting. Or back to receive the punt. Bransrud gets it out of there. Another dandy. Safford going to make the catch at the Westmar 43. Gets to that corner. Now to the 50. Now to the 45, 40, 35. And out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. Good return there for Paul Safford. Back the 31-yard line for Safford. His longest punt return of the year, I believe. And that's going to put Westmar's offense in great field position again, Browning.
Sure is. They really don't need the field position, but it's nice to have it. And what a pretty little run back. Got behind the wall, and Safford's got that good quickness and got her up the sideline.
Little note here on Paul Safford. You know, he's been one that's been getting a lot of these 15-yard penalties over the last 4 or 5 weeks. And Randy Smazel told me we've talked to him. Says he thinks it's hurt his punt returning this year. He's just had other things on his mind. Maybe today looks like he's getting things mentally back in sync.
Sure does. You can tell he just wants that ball. He wants to take off and go, and he's got in his mind he's going to go all the way with it.
Out of the wishbone set, Skolton and White split receivers to each side, going without a tight end. This is the wishbone set that Dakota State was starting with earlier today. And there's the keeper by McClintock. And they run right into 88 David Schmidt, senior out of Westbrook, Minnesota. And he'll move to about the 26-yard line. Pick up a 4. It's going to be about a 5-yard gain. 2nd down and 5. We're at the 10-minute mark here in quarter 2. Westmar in front, 28-0. They've scored on 4 of their 5 possessions and ran out of downs in the other inside the 30. So it's been quite an afternoon for Westmar, and they've done it on both sides of the football. It's been a total team effort today, and we feared maybe a little letdown. We haven't seen any evidence of it. His team's just mowed him down. Quick pitch. Calvin Pierce looks to get that corner turn. There's a fumble. It's going to shoot back toward the Dakota State sidelines and on off the field. Referee got rolled out of the play, too. He really got taken out. There's a good hit there, Brownie. That ball shot back upfield about 10 yards.
That's right. Anybody's ball, had anybody been there, they could have sure been on top of it.
Well, after they marked the fumble off and everything, it's 3rd down at about 13, 14 yards to go with the first down. Split backs, passing set, back to pass. McClintock takes a look, airing it out for Rob White, and it's going to be incomplete, almost intercepted by Tim Russi. Probably should have been caught. He had a pretty good chance at it.
That's right, and I'm sure that's what Coach Trado's saying too. You're 0-6, you can't even intercept a ball that's right in front of you. And
Well, Westmar's going to try a field goal here. Morey is 3 for 5. This will be a 52-yarder, and it's going to be way short. It's about a yard into the end zone, way short. So that's 3 for 6 field goal kicking now. And the Trojans are going to take over at the original line of scrimmage, the 34-yard line. So they have stopped Westmar for only the second time in his first half. It's 28-0 with 9:31 to go in the half. Well, skies are clearing a little bit off to the west. Maybe we'll see a little sunshine for the afternoon's over. Westmar in front, 28-0 with 9.5 to go before halftime. And not much there. In fact, a little bit of a loss in the play. Skogerbo on the keeper. Ran right into McLeod, and McLeod, I don't think he even got touched. He was just sitting there waiting to butt him head to head.
Looked like nobody got touched there. No more got the handoff made, and there was contact. A great defensive play again.
It's like bringing back some bad nightmares for me. I remember my senior year in high school was about the kind of football team I think I played with. Not much experience up on the front line, and the poor quarterback gets a heck of a beating that way.
That's right. It can be a long day, can't it?
8:58 left to go in a half. And they're going to run with the quarterback up over center. There's Stuckert going off tackles. Stuckert going to carry out to about the 36-yard line, and there's just not a whole lot there. Going to pick up about 2 or 3, and that's it. And Dakota State going to line up in their double split wishbone set. Going to loft one downfield in the direction of Tainer, and that's going to be way over his head. Hancher and Robert Johnson. JR was there. Seeloff and Frenchie Holmberg. It was pretty well covered anyway, Brian. 8:10 left to go in the first half. Brancer, who's been a busy punter here in the first half, going to kick another sailor away. This kid's got the foot. To 23, it's Safford. 25, 30, look out! 40, 45, and he's down. Last man that had a shot at him really made the stop. Tackle going to be made by number 26 for the Trojans, Scott Ochner. And we got a Trojan down. Bronny, if he hadn't, Ochner hadn't got him, they'd have been off to the races. He's going to break one yet today. Well, Stephen Bell got up and trotted off. He was the injured Trojan. I think he heard some bells after the hit he took. There's the get of Vernon Bolden. Little delay to the 50, 45, 40. Dragging people with him down about the 35-yard line. Scampered up about 15 yards. There's some of that Vernon Bolden talent there, Brownie. He's a good one.
That's right. He's got a lot of strength, and he's got the big thighs, and boy, he carried a lot of people there and got some big yards.
Just glided upfield, and that's going to be another Westmar first down. 7:50 to go in the first half. 28-0 Westmar. As the skies are brightening overhead here at the LeMars Community Stadium. Last home game of the year for Westmar. And they'll be over at the Dakota Dome next Thursday night. Remember, our game next week will be on a Friday night at 8 o'clock rather than Sunday. There's the give again to Vernon Bolden. Same play. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. Down about the 6-yard line. Oh, he looked like a runaway bull there, Brown.
He literally ran over one guy. Put his helmet down and just ran over him. Boy, oh boy, was that fun to watch. Let's let him have the ball again here.
Yeah, we had the fun of being able to watch that again on Cable Channel 20 on Sunday night. Seeing it live here today and then seeing it again on Sunday night. That was a good one.
Defensive backs are going to be ducking when he comes through anymore, I think.
He's what you term the punishing runner, I think.
And so smooth. He doesn't look that. He's got the big speed, or good speed anyhow, and he just looks kind of deceiving, the speed and strength.
Doesn't really give you that big high leg kick either. He just really flows through there. And he hits with some authority. There's the give again to Bolden. Same play, and he'll go in untouched. Touchdown. Faked the pitch and gave back on a trap inside, and John Barton just wasted somebody inside to open that up.
That's right, Denny. Up the middle, over the nose, untouched. That's get credit to the offensive line on that one.
And Westmar goes up 34-0. That's 5 of 7 drives here in the first half. They have put points on, and Mike Morey comes in to try to add another point after. 30 in a row he's hit. Hasn't missed an extra point since the September Dana ball game. This one's going to be up and through, and Westmar leads it and passing that record we set against Concordia, 43-0. McPartland going to kick it off, end over end, and it's going to be taken by Jorgensen at the 20, 25. Looks for the 30, won't quite get there, down to about the 29-yard line. Brownie is becoming quickly just a physical mismatch today.
That's right. That's been evident right from the offset. I think we talk about the Concordia, but there were better personnel, at least on the offensive side, than this team here has, and it's really kind of a scrimmage atmosphere out here. And it's a matter of who's going to get the running backs, who's going to get the yards, Give me the ball. I want to go for 20 yards here, and it's just really running away with it here.
We're going to see some young kids in here in the second half. Coach Maisel said with a short practice week, he was hoping to get a good lead so he can get those starters out there, get them rested. Of course, Charles Hill, the big question mark now. Out on the first drive, there's a near interception by Seeloff, and he'll drop it right to him. And he couldn't hang on to it. Boy, it drilled him right in the shoulder pad. 6:55 left to go in the first half. Brisk southerly breeze blowing across the field. Skogerbo swings it out there to Stucker. Stucker going to be drilled by Joey Holmberg at the 29-yard line. I know last week a guy named Roman Holiday, one of the best quick-footed backs I think Westmar run into this season, got taken down one-on-one in a play very similar to that. And I know Steve Sokup called that probably the best open field tackle he's ever seen. Joe Holmberg can do that.
That's right, he really can. And boy, that is a tough play to make in football. And I don't have a lot of experience at defensive back, but I played at some. And boy, when you're one-on-one with a little defensive back, you got to overlook the fakes, I guess, and go get him. But it's a tough play to make.
Third down at about 9 to go, and the Trojans of Dakota State faced with a passing situation. Back to pass, drop, heavy rush. McLeod just misses him. Now it's a fumble. McLeod has got it. Rogers hit him from the weak side, knocked it loose, and McLeod comes up with a football. And Westmar is going to get her. 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Well, he got away from McLeod, but then Rogers hit him from the backside, and the ball came out of there. Skogerbo's having a heck of a long day.
That's right, and he got up slow again. I think they ruled this is going to be Dakota State's ball. Kind of an in-grass call, but needless to say, it's still 4th down. They'll have to punt it away.
And Bransford going to be back to do the honors. That's all right. This punt return has been kind of an exciting play today. And he'll hammer away another beauty. Joey Holmberg going to take this one at the 33. Looks for a block from Safford. Cuts up inside of the 40 and down at about the 43-yard line. Westmar will take over there. A little different than the 14, but Westmar in front 35-0 and off to another romp, it looks like. Well, it's the kind of game they needed. I'm sure the NAI folks got their eyes on this. How are they going to do against the winless team? There's Vernon Bolden, or check it, Kelvin Pierce out over the 45 about the 46-yard line. Pierce followed Bolden into the hole. Tackle going to be made for Dakota State by Brian Kern from the nose guard spot. A little mix up there. Westmar got some personnel in kind of late. Heath Fitzsimmons checks in. They have to quickly tell him of the play. And Shipley out of there. Option play. Pitch out. Going to go to Bolden. Bolden gets to the 50. 45. Knocks over another guy out of bounds. Few oohs and ahs from the fans. They're liking this kid.
Just the way he runs over the defensive back there. Those guys really are going to have to be ducking and trying to dodge him. He just runs right over him and got a first down on it.
Well, what you're seeing this afternoon, Brownie's probably the projected backfield for next year with Heath Fitzsimmons in there. Of course, Charles Hill will graduate. There's the option play. Pitch out. Pierce, down he goes. That was messed up from the very beginning. Too long a belly ride into the line of scrimmage, and then it messed up the option after that timing-wise.
That's right. Poor fake. They just knew it was going outside all the way. And Dakota State, as they have been most of the time, been here pretty quick and got outside on them.
13 to go now for the Westmar first down. Out of the wishbone set, split receivers to both sides. Straight ahead, Vernon Bolden. 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Vernon Bolden in again. This time from 47 yards away. Vernon Bolden with yet another touchdown, his third of the day. 2 yards, 7 yards, and now 47 yards. Boy, that was a quick opener again. Big hole, and nobody hardly even touched him.
Again, good play action, fake one way and came back into the weak side. And it was just a foot race from the line of scrimmage, and Vernon had the speed. And it's fun to watch him. He can run over people or run away from him, and he's going to be a good one for us.
Well, on a day that I'm sure Charles Hill could have been showcased, Vernon Bolden's taking advantage of his absence.
That's right, and I'm sure Charles wishes he were out there, but we just soon have him sitting when we're ahead 40-0 than when we need him.
And Morey stays perfect on the day, kicks another one through. That's 32 straight, 40. We'll see Westmar warming up a quarterback here on the sideline. They may have the regulars out of there by halftime. There's Kohlberg returning the kickoff, and he'll come back over the 30 to about the 31-yard line, 32-yard line. Tackle going to be made on the special teams by Joe Schaffner for Westmar College. Skogerbo comes up over center out of the wishbone set with split ends to both sides. There's the give on the little dive. This time I think Wicks finally got it. Seeloff and Skogerbo with a little altercation out there on the side. Skogerbo took a shot there even though it handed the ball off. And I believe, no, it was Stuckert carrying the football again for Dakota State. Still haven't seen Terry Wicks. Kind of makes you wonder if he's healthy.
Must not be, Danny. I'm sure he would have been in the game, and I don't know, they'd help him a lot anyhow, so maybe they're going to leave him out and rest him or something.
3:13 left to go in the first half. 42-0. Good to have you aboard on Cable Channel 20. And, of course, remember, next week it's on Friday night after the Thursday ball game at the Dakota Dome. Skogerbo going to give second man through. And we'll, I didn't catch the number of the guy that carried, so we'll check as they unpile him. Well, still didn't see who I guess got up off the football. 2:39 left to go before halftime. And remember, of course, Westmar will unveil their 1987 men's basketball team next Saturday night for the alumni game. And they have a chili feed that starts prior to that. The women open their season next Saturday, so the winter sports seasons are just about upon us. There's a fumble center snap. Skogerbo dives back in there on it. No, Westmar got it. He didn't get back in there on it. And off top of the football is going to be Kevin Westhoff, I believe. Yeah, there's Craig Larson in there getting his first action defensively. Larson had been a starting center until he was hurt and lost his job to Wayne Spearing. And rather than let this senior rust on the bench, they've decided to help him or let him help them on the defensive side.
What a perfect game to get some experience too, Danny. No, somebody can go by him and it's not going to cost him a game here, and that might not happen next week or in a possible playoff. So it's a good situation for him to get the feel of this defense.
Yeah, they're of course taking time each practice now this week to go through techniques as if it was junior high for him all over again. Try to quickly give him a crash course in how to play defensive line. Got a new quarterback in here. There's Pierce up the middle. And Chad Samish, the freshman out of Denison, who's guided that freshman team to, or JV team to a 3-1 season, is in there at QB. And Kelly McClintock apparently has been retired for the rest of the day. And he didn't have to do too much today. Threw a couple of touchdown passes, but basically it's been pretty smooth sailing. Everything he did was right.
That's right. And the offense is going good. He had to just make sure and complete his part of the deal, I guess, and get the ball to the other backs or make his pass completion.
Second down at about 7 to go. Gain of 3 in the last play. Fitzsimmons, Bolden, and Pierce still in the backfield for Westmar College. Now check it. We've got Bardo in there, I guess. Bardo going to carry the football for Westmar. Tim Bardo. Bardo, a 6-foot sophomore, out of Rippey, Iowa, 180-pounder. And so I think we're already going to see this signs of what we'll see most of the second half now. A lot of subs.
That's right, and especially the backfield coming in here now, getting quite a few new faces, and that's usually where you start and then go into the linemen. But they want to let these good second-string backs run behind the first-string offensive line just for some good experience of timing.
Samich taking a look over that defense for Dakota State. Option play, pitch out, Bardo. Bardo to the 30. And is going to be down and out of bounds at about the 27-yard line. So we're inside the last minute of the first half. 42-0 Westmar. Everything they've touched has been goal today. They're going to try another field goal. This one will be spotted on the 34. 44-yard try for Mike Moore. This might be a little more in his range. This is still going to fall short. Looked like it was just a little bit to the left. Flag down, though. They may get a chance to move it closer. Heath Fitzsimmons is clapping, so maybe it's going against the Trojans. This would give them the first down, I guess. Anyway, it's fourth down at about a yard to go. And it's going to be roughing the kicker against the Trojans, so Westmar bring the offense back on and try her for 6. Whistles out of there. They're going without a tight end. 2 split receivers out of the wishbone. Samich on the pitch out. Going to go to Kelvin Pierce to the 20. Hits helmet to helmet at about the 15 and down and out of bounds inside the 15 at about the 14-yard line. Again, a lot of white shirts. They do impressively swarm to the flanks, don't they, Brownie? Oh, before halftime. There's a give up the middle of Heath Fitzsimmons, and Heath's going to go down at about the 14-yard line. Maybe got a yard on that play. And it's going to bring up a third down at about 3 yet to go for the Westmar first down. He forced to go airborne. Receiver split wide to the right. Quick pitch, going to go to Bardo. Bardo to the 15, out of bounds at about the 11 or 10-yard line. It's going to be close to a first down. Looked like he might have got it. That's, of course, the play they used so effectively with Kelvin Pierce. Bardo showed not quite Pierce's quick feet to get to the outside, but effectively, good blocking out there. Right. Now Mike Moore going to try a field goal with 13 seconds left before halftime. This one's going to be spotted on about the 17-yard line, so this should easily be within his range. 27-yard try. This one is going to be up. It looks good from here. And it's good, and there's a new half record, 5-0 with 9 seconds to go in the first half. Now Sun comes out of the field for the first time this afternoon as Partland kicks it off end over end. Going to be taken by Kohlberg at about the 13, 15, 20, 25. Oh, he's loose. 30, 35. Cuts back upfield out over the 40 to about the 41-yard line. Best return of the day for Dakota State, one of their bigger plays.
That's right. He got a few more extra yards on his own. It's not going to be enough here to this first half.
1 second left to go. Time enough for one more play before halftime. A little surprised Westmar took the field goal on first down. Don't understand that quite.
Well, I think they might have thought 9 seconds. A running play could have taken more than that. And Coach Schmeisel for sure wanted to get the chance at it. And left-footed kicker, it's on the right side of the field for him, too. So I think he decided to make sure and get the attempt rather than have a play spoil the clock out.
Well, Mike Morey is now 4 of 7 kicking field goals this year. Missed one from 52 yards away earlier. Missed one on that drive, but a penalty gave him another shot at it, and he hit it from 27 yards back. Skogerbo just going to go down to one knee, trailing 45-0 one afternoon in the first half, so he decided to end it graciously here in the first half, and Westmar's played a near flawless first 30 minutes of football, leading it 45-0. Vern Bolden with 3 touchdowns. Todd Skolton has caught 2 TD passes from McClintock. Kelvin Pierce has scored a touchdown, and Mike Morey kicking a 27-yard field goal. It's a new single-half scoring record for Westmar. Guess the only thoughts in their mind right now is how bad is Charles Hill.
That's right. They carried him off, and I guess I was glad to see an ankle wrap before a knee wrap, but I also know from experience that a sprain, Thursday's going to come awful soon, and usually takes a day or two to get some swelling down before you can even start to walk on it very well. And I guess it's just a matter how bad it is, and he did walk off the field, but usually when you're warmed up, and more depends on how it is tomorrow morning, I guess, when he gets out of bed, but we sure would hope for the best for him.
Of course, Hill was hurt on the first drive of the ball game. Did set the single-season rushing record before he went out, so if he isn't able to play in the finale next Thursday night, at least he does have the record set by Randy Beving back in 1971. As he surpassed it on that opening drive. The play he was hurt on was a 38-yard run. He'd had the record actually carried before that, but that sealed it up, and he's put a little distance between him and any pursuers in the future here at Westmar College. Well, we want you to hang on. We've got the second half. Well, before we get underway with the second half, a few first half stats. Minus 14 total yards for Dakota State in his first half, Brownie. 370 total yards for Westmar. 39 rushes for 284 yards on the ground for Westmar. 2 for 4 throwing the ball. Both completions went for touchdowns. That's 43 offensive plays, 370 yards. 16 rushing plays, minus 24 for Dakota State to 3 of 14 for 10 yards. In the passing department, 19 offensive plays, minus 14 total yards. Pretty dominating, I'd say, and 45-0 on the scoreboard tells the story.
That's right. It's definitely lopsided, and I guess for Westmar, you'd look at that total and you think that's a good game. 45 points, over 300 yards, and we're only halfway through. I'm sure it's through with most of the first string, but that's an incredible first half.
Word on Charles Hill is a bad sprain, maybe torn ligaments. They're going to x-ray to make sure it's not broken, so it doesn't sound too favorable for Thursday night for Charles Hill. There's Kohlberg out from the 10, out across the 20, about the 22, and another flag going to go down. Little altercation, again back upfield. I think Westmar had a penalty-free first half, as I recall.
That's right. I don't remember any either, and I hope they keep that going. Sure don't like to give up yards when you really need them. It doesn't hurt a game like this, but they got to start to have a little control against these tougher teams should they get into the playoffs.
This one is going to go against the Eagles, though. A little unsportsmanlike on the opening kickoff of the second half. Again, Vern Bolden's put on a show, and Charles Hill absence, who went down in the first offensive series of the ball game. And a badly sprained ankle that could likely shelve him for the season finale, and his senior year may come to an abrupt ending. He's sure, right now, I'm got the fingers crossed for postseason action to keep his season going.
That's right. An ankle sprain like that, it'd be tough to come back by Thursday, but maybe in a week while he'd be in a little better shape.
Out of the shotgun, Dakota State's left nothing in the form of a secret here. They're going to come out and throw over the rest of the afternoon pretty much, and that was poorly thrown toward James Tainter. He was open, he just didn't get it to him. Now, once we got some sunshine, skies have cleared completely out. Started the day in overcast, and now brilliant sunshine. Oh, there's a sack again back in the backfield by Mark McLeod. and tack up some more minus yardage against this Dakota State team. And Skogerbo's having a long, long day back there at QB.
He really is. He gets up a little slower every play, and I'm sure he wishes that this day were over with.
Backfield of motion going to be against the Trojans. I'm sure they'll decline this and take the loss. It'll be more than the 5 yards they get on the penalty. Going to make it 3rd and about 18 to go. Loss of 8 on the play. 14:42 to go, 3rd quarter. Guess your only hope now is that when Westmar gets the ball, they're going to have a lot of running plays and keep this clock running. Dakota State's probably not minding that too much either.
No, I'm sure at this point they want to get out of here too and try and keep everybody healthy and start over again next week.
They will be playing in front of Westmar Thursday night at the Dome. They've got a date with Dana and a 6 o'clock start, and then Westmar and Dakota Wesleyan following that. So we'll get another chance to see Dakota State, see if this is just an off day for them or if they're, it's pretty easy to see, I guess, what we've seen today, why they're 0-8. They have a lot of problems offensively. Over the middle, pass going to be complete to Jorgensen, and Freddie Anderson going to take him down at about the 34-yard line. And some more altercations back upfield. Now the fists fly, flags fly. And we got 2 players down on the ground scrapping like a couple little bear cubs. Well, unsportsmanlike call on both sides, but Frenchie Holmberg ejected on the play, so Westmar lost their free safety after it's all said and done with. And back to punt is Brandsrud. Almost got knocked down. The referee was starting to reach for the flag, but he didn't go down. There's Holmberg back at the 25. Joey up to the 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and another good return. So I guess even the specialty teams for Dakota State has not been real impressive today. Their punt return coverage has not been too sharp.
I guess the kicker's too good for the coverage. That was a low, long shot. And gave time for Westmar to get some protection out there, and did, and got a nice return, but going to lose some of that on a clipping penalty.
Yeah, there's another penalty against Westmar. They're penalty-free first half. They've come out here and got a few penalties now with the playing, trying to pick the intensity up. That'll back Westmar up to the 24-yard line. Chad Samich is going to be the quarterback, so Kelly McClintock in at his day even before halftime, as this has been just a mismatch from the word go here this afternoon. Straight up the middle they go. Still basically the starting offensive line in there, looks like, for Westmar. Heath Fitzsimmons going to go right up the middle, and he'll be hit by Brian Kern, that standout nose guard for the Dakota State Trojans. And a pickup of 2, 2nd down at 8. 13:21 to go, 3rd quarter. Still got Spearing at center, Pauly and Barton to the guards, and Walt Eisen and Byron Bowling at the tackles. There's Vern Bolden and knocking people over. Boy, that was a talk at halftime. You talked around among the Westmar folks. They've really been impressed with Vern Bolden. It's been a day for him to showcase his many, many talents.
Sure has, and I hope there's many, many more. And it's saw it on that play, the strength. He just drug people with him and got a big pickup on it.
I think that was the thing everybody was saying. Boy, he's only a freshman. We got some fun days ahead. So, yeah, there's going to be some good football with this young man. Again, Charles Hill went out hurt early. The word is a badly sprained ankle at least. Making him very questionable for Thursday's game at the Dakota Dome. They're going to x-ray to make sure it's not broken. There's the keeper by Samich. Chad Samich going to carry out to the 37. Talk about this freshman kid from Denison. Boy, what progress he's made since the start of the year. We got a chance to see him early in a ball game this year. And he looked slow of foot, and I guess unfamiliar with this style of offense at the start of the year, but he's really starting to get the knack of what Coach Meza wants out of an offensive quarterback.
That's right, and it's a change of a system coming from high school to college, and any type of option is tough if you're not used to it. And boy, it's better to train them when they're 7th graders at option. It's a hard knack to get a hold of how to make them fakes.
There's a get a Vern Bolden, 50, 45, 40. Nobody's going to touch him. He's got that speed to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. Goodbye. He's gone. It's another long one. 50, well, let's see, make it 62 yards this time. 62 yards for Vern Bolden, his 4th touchdown of the game. Quick opener, nobody ever touched him.
Boy, that was a quick opener, and I guess the thing that I've added to my impression with him today is the speed. That was just outright speed there, and foot race, and ran away from people, and boy, he came out of a cannon, and off he went for 6.
And Mike Morey, who's got quite a string of extra points going, he is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for 6 today. He's hit 32 in a row now since they missed back in the Dana ball game in mid-September. And a kick is going to be up and good. Morey stays perfect. What'd they say for Bolden? 200 and what?
222.
222, a career high for him. He's having his best day as a Westmar Eagle in his freshman year. This will be on Vern Bolden's highlight film. Certainly this is a big day for him. Kickoff by McPartland. This is his best kickoff of the day. Going to be handled at about the 6 and now fumbled. Returned by Corey Wenzel. Wenzel out over the 15 to about the 19. Flags go down again as a few more altercations between the two sides. And we'll sort this one out. Personal foul against Westmar, and that'll move the ball out to the 34-yard line. See, Robert Johnson and Freddie Anderson are now the linebackers. Kevin Westhoff's been retired. Back to pass. Skogerball going to throw down and out, and Colberg had to go in and out of his hands. Incomplete. Number 20, Troy Stanley, a sophomore out of Bagley, Iowa, is playing one of the safety spots. We've also got Paul Safford out here at the right cornerback spot. Pick out number 95, Ed Snydergaard, a junior defensive end out of Alda in here. So a lot of new people. See Krotzel still in there in nose guard. Back to pass, taking a look. Osterberg was putting some pressure on here from the weak side and got to the quarterback at the last second, the incomplete pass. Pat Osterberg, of course, out of nearby Akron, and he's going to be a good one. I watched him in practice this week against the varsity. He did a good job of playing some defensive end, and I think he's got starting possibilities for next year with both defensive ends from this season's team graduating.
And normally a weaker position for us, and it's good to see these local boys come in here too, Denny, and he'll put on some pounds, I'm sure, in another year. And it's always fun to see how they grow and improve over a year.
Mike Marley out there at the left cornerback spot, and Jeff Schwartz here at the safety spot. Back to pass. Osterberg again with some pressure, incomplete. Pass intended for Stuckert. And again the tip, and then the almost interception by Jeff Schwartz. And again, a lot of defensive pressure on the quarterback really makes that secondary's job a lot easier, Browning.
That's right. They got to him, and he's walking off pretty slow again. He says, well, there's another series out of the way, but boy, he's going to have some bruises.
11:34 left to go in the third quarter. It's 52-0 Westmar. And Brandswood back to do the punting. Safford and Holmberg back to receive the punt. This one's off the side of the foot. Takes a big hop up to Joe Holmberg to the 30, 35, 40. And it'll be spun around and dropped at about the 43-yard line. And a special teams play with no flags down anywhere. That's new linemen in here too, it looks like. So basically all backup people now. Heath Fitzsimmons and Bartle in there running back. Bartle going to carry out of the 45 about the 48-yard line. See if we can pick up some of these linemen. Kevin Fowler out here on the right tackle. Looks like the center is Tim Lure. That's, of course, the younger brother to one of our assistant coaches, Mark Lure. He's a right guard, I should say. There's Heath Fitzsimmons carrying.
Fitzsimmons on the carry.
Clint McKee in there playing an offensive line spot out of Haywarden. Continue to kind of pick up these numbers as they head back to the huddle, and Jim Davis in there at an offensive line spot. He's a sophomore out of St. Petersburg, Florida. Neil Hall going to come out of here from the tight end spot. Tony Smith in there at one of the wideout spots, and coming off the field's 89 Monty Harker. They're in a wishbone set now. They give to Heath Fitzsimmons. Fitzsimmons going to carry for the first down, it looks like, to about the Dakota State 45-yard line. In there running back that time was Travis Ripperda, a freshman out of Larchwood, Iowa. There's some names from kids you haven't heard to this point, but probably going to hear a lot more of in the future, Browning. The 45, and they're on the move again. There's the option. Pitch out. Fitzsimmons fumbled the ball. Going to fall right back on it, though. Coverage from Dakota State from the secondary by Greg Skyberg, a strong safety out of Rutland, South Dakota. Boy, that hurts to fall in the pigskin like that, doesn't it? Yards in the JV game last Sunday in a loss to Iowa Lakes, their first loss in 2 years. That was against the Iowa Lakes varsity, though. Heath Fitzsimmons on kind of a delay, and he'll carry back into Dakota State territory to the 46-yard line. Got about 80 of the yards back they lost on the last play. Tackle going to be made by number 55 for Dakota State. And we don't have a number 55 on our program, so apparently a number change somewhere along the way. 9 minutes to go in the third. All the school scoring records, they have surpassed that original record of 49 points for the third time this year. Samich on the keeper. He was going to come in there and pounce on it. That's going to bring up a 4th down at about 11, and Westmar is going to bring the punt team on. This will be the first punt today, won't it?
I'm sure it is. They went on 4th a couple times and had the field goal tries, but I'm sure this is it.
Rob White will be back to punt the football. Should be able to pin Dakota State in deep in their own territory. Kohlberg and Stuckert back to receive the punt. And White gets no pressure at all, and he got away a nice one. Nice sailing punt. Joe Holmberg is down there to field it. They're going to stop this inside the 10-yard line, in fact, on about the 1-yard line. Cameron's back out to about the 4. They're going to mark it on the 1. Pretty good coverage. And Joe Holmberg was down there to touch it down. Now they relocate the ball on the 4-yard line. That's about a 42-yard punt for Rob White. There's Stuckert. He'll just run the quick dive and won't quite make it out to the 5-yard line. There to make the hit for Westmar was number 60, Steve Utesh, the 28-year-old freshman out of Akron. We were talking to Randy Smazel about Steve Utesh and his contributions. He said he just hasn't been able to get to all of the meetings. You know, he works, he's got a family, and he says he realizes why his playing time hasn't been what he, I guess, had hoped it would be, but kind of wonder how much of a future he'll have in Westmar's football program. Back to pass, going long, and it's going to be off the fingertips of Tainer, or Kohlberg it is. Kohlberg running the fly pattern down the left sideline. Pretty good coverage there from Safford. And coming over to help out was number 20, Troy Stanley. But I guess kind of looks like Chad Shook's in there for Westmar right now, and I didn't think he was going to be in uniform today. Of course, went out hurt a couple of weeks ago. There's a pass out to Jorgensen. He just flat out dropped it. And the punt is going to be end over end and pretty much straight up in the air. Guess many times as Bransford's kicked today, you're bound to have a bad one every once in a while.
That's right. He had it right there, and it landed on this nice new track. I'm glad the track was hard. He put a dent in it, but he really lost that one.
And they're going to give it to Westmar on the 20-yard line. So for the line of scrimmage, that was only about a 13-yard punt. That's going to hurt a 40-yard per game average, or per punt average, as Bransford brought into the ball game. Westmar's offense already got them on top 52-0, and they're only going to have 20 short yards to go for the drive. It's all backup people in there now. Blaine Bell going to split wide to the right. Trent Quick out there wide left. Chad Samich in their quarterback. All new linemen. Neil Hall's the tight end. Bartle and Fitzsimmons are the running backs. Pitch out. Fitzsimmons 20, 15, 10, down to the 5, and he's taken down at about the 4-yard line. Going to be a gain of about 15, 16 yards. First and goal to go for Westmar at about the 5-yard line. Fitzsimmons, of course, comes from Ridge, New York. That's out there in the vicinity of Wyandotte. Out on Long Island, goes up the middle of Heath Fitzsimmons. Heath had a real major knee injury his senior year in high school. Didn't end up playing much, so they went basically on recruiting him out of off his junior stats. Coach Mazel says part of the reason there wasn't a lot of competition for the kid. He's kind of short, but I guess you can't question the abilities. He knows which direction to go toward the end zone.
That's right. He's got definitely the talent there, and he's made an impact on this team here. They've drawn on him quite a few times this year.
Straight ahead of Bartle. He won't get into the end zone. Going to be slammed back at the line of scrimmage. Good penetration there from number 93 for Dakota State. 95, sorry, misread the number. Brent Forrest, a senior defensive tackle out of Clark, South Dakota. 6'3" at 225. One of their bigger people. It's not even a real big Dakota State team by college standards. 5:45 left to go. Third quarter, it's 52-0. Split backs. Quick pitch. Bartle should waltz in this time, and he does. Doesn't even get knocked down as he just steps about a yard into the end zone and drops the ball. And Westmar increases that lead now to 59-0, 58-0, and they'll try to add the 59th point with 5:35 left to go in the third quarter. Bartle, I believe that's his first touchdown of his career here at Westmar. And Holmberg is going to hold for Mike Morey, who's still perfect on the day. And continues that streak. Hit this one bad, but it just got through there. Didn't get it through there with much gusto, but it made it through. That's all it counts. 59-0 with 5:35 to go in the quarter. Kickoff by McPartland. It's going to be end over end and short. Fumbled by Jorgensen. Scooped up at the 14. No check it. Returning the punt's going to be Wenzel. Corey Wenzel be out over the 20 to about the 23-yard line. You know, coming into the ballgame, Mike Morey last week set a single season extra point record, and he's just adding to it steadily. Here this afternoon, he is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of 8, and of course a field goal. Might even set a single game scoring record here today at the rate he's going. Get another crack at a field goal maybe. He has 8 for 8 today. Came in hitting 26 in a row, so he's at 34 straight now since that miss against Dana back in September. And he's only missed 2 all season. 5.5 minutes to go, third quarter. A little early movement up front. Craig Larson got back apparently with no contact. Skogerbo going to just run for what he can get out of it. That kind of broke the whole play down. And Skogerbo out to about the 25-yard line, 26-yard line possibly. Picks up about 4 on the play, and it's almost 5. Second down and 5 to go. Keith, we talk about Skogerbo having such a long afternoon and not a lot of talent in the skill position people, but I think if you want to, there's Stuckert going to carry off tackle to the right side for a yard or two. You want to really get down to probably what the main woes of this football team is offensively, you always got to start in the offensive line.
That's right, and the youth of this team, the inexperience, and to come up against an experienced high-rolling Westmar team, it's tough on them, but you bet. There just hasn't been any protection for him, even in the shotgun. Why, he has 7-yard head start there, and they were sacking him then, so he just hasn't had a chance to get anything going.
That's something Westmar can identify with. You can remember the early days of Waleisen, Pauly, and Barton, and Larson. They started as freshmen. We suffered in those days too with not real good line play. But now as seniors, they're dominating the line of scrimmage week after week. Stuckert again to the right side, and he'll get just about a yard. It's going to bring up a 4th down at a yard to go at the 31-yard line. Syndergaard in there to make the tackle. I believe we called him Snydergaard earlier, so this is a name I guess we're not too familiar with, so we apologize to Ed for mispronouncing his name, but I'm sure we'll hear more of him. Syndergaard. And Ed Syndergaard, again, is a junior out of Alda. And he'll be playing some more football next year, I'm sure, for Westmar College. Here's Bransrud back to do the punting again with 4:08 to go in the third quarter. And this is a little better than the last punt, but still not his longest of the day. And it's going to take a favorable Westmar rollback of field, which helped the coverage finally catch up to it, at least to bounce back toward the coverage. And it's non-returnable. Westmar takes over at their own 45-yard line, leading it 59-0. Even the subs are putting points on right now against basically still the #1 defense for Dakota State. Now, probably Marcus Hancher will be the quarterback next year for the team, but Chad Samich getting some much-needed experience. Here's Fitzsimmons to the 45, to the 50, and into Dakota State territory to about the 48-yard line. Samich done such a good job in the JV unit and has come so far in his freshman year, but they're looking at Hancher to run their option plays next year, unless something unforeseen comes up, simply because of his quick abilities. And we've had that one game to see his flashes of ability against Midland. Led Westmar to one. But Coach Mazel says is probably one of their big wins of the year right now. You look at what kind of year Midland's gone on to have. There's Bardold to the 45, still churning and driving and close to a first down. Let's see where they mark it. Looks like they'll still be short as they're just about on the 45-yard line. Up to make the tackle for the Trojans, going to be number 12, Tim Rusi, junior out of Rutland, South Dakota. We've called these secondary people a lot today. Those safety people coming up and having to make a lot of tackles for Dakota State. They're going to measure close enough. They didn't quite get the first down, just short. Third down and less than a yard to go. Samich up looking over that defense. Quarterback sneak. Samich going to break through there. Got the first down. He's inside the 40 at about the 39-yard line. First and 10 for Westmar, and they're on the move again. 2:56 to go, third quarter. There's Bardold. Bardold to the 40 and about the 35, 34-yard line. He'll be in there for another 5 yards. Football action being brought to you today by the leader, by the LeMars Beauty College, by Plymouth Plumbing and Heating, by Augie's, Susie's Deli, Hopkins Drug, Stevens Cleaners, Ben Franklin, Mount Drug, J.C. Penney, V&H Tire, Behind the 8 Ball, First National Bank, Volmer's Shoes, TJ Antiques, Sousa Mill Standard, the LeMars Savings Bank, and the LeMars Truck Haven Cafe. Second down and 5 to go. Going to give again up the middle of Fitzsimmons. Fitzsimmons going to carry it about the 23-yard line. Fortunately, they're in a JV game tomorrow. These guys last week, some of them got a chance to play against Huron College, came back right away the next day and played in the JV game, so that's tough.
It would be, Denny, and I'm sure they aren't complaining, though. Those second, third stringers, boy, they'll give them a ball, they'll play anywhere, anybody, and it's a good experience for them. And I'm sure they're having a fun, great time out here today.
Because Westmar does use Vernon Bolden a little bit in those JV games. I think after his performance today, though, he won't be used in JV much anymore.
I wonder what some of the other coaches think on the JV team when you got Vernon Bolden running over you like that.
Tony Smith going to split wide to the right. Trent Quick wide to the left. Option play. Samage going to keep it. And on third and about 4.5, he'll go down short of the first down sticks at about the 32.
Fourth down, 4 yards.
And fourth down. Looks like Westmar feels they're out of field goal range, so they're going to bring the punt unit on again. Basically still have their #1 special team unit in there. Fourth down at about 3 yards to go. You have the minute 17 to go in the third quarter.
Number 88 is the punt.
And Rob White to punt for just the second time today. Had a 42-yarder his first try, and they downed it at the 1-yard line. Got the ball back in the 20 and a short punt by Dakota State and scored off of that. So White had a lot to do with the last touchdown Westmar got. It's going to go straight up in the air and be caught by Troy Stanley.
You don't see very often your own man catch it, but that's sure a legal play, and it was, I guess, heads up at where he was at.
That's going to be at the 7-yard line. That's how high that punt was. Coverage is there waiting for it to come down. So he didn't need a lot of length when you're trying to coffin corner kick it, and Dakota State's backed up to the 7-yard line. His team has got his obvious problems offensively, and then to have poor field position a lot today like they've had, that just makes it even tougher. 59-0 Westmar. Bartle scored a touchdown for the JV unit here. And big number 70 carrying a football, believe it or not. I believe that's a big lineman. That's a Brian Kern, that good running, or that good nose guard, carrying a football out of the backfield. Brian Kern, a 207-pound senior out of Watkins, Minnesota. I believe they missed the calling on him all year. He could run the football pretty effectively.
That's right. They probably better use him some more. I guess some of these guys could go both ways, and he's a good athlete, and they're just going to let him run the ball.
Down inside the last 30 seconds of the third quarter. Yeah, they've got Kern lined up in the backfield with number 41, Chris Giles, now in a tandem backfield. Skogerbo again going to give it to Kern. Kern going to blast up there and out over the 15 to about the 16-yard line. Boy, he's a punishing runner, too. What a horse.
That's right, and he read right up in there and made a cut, too. I don't think this is the first time he's ever carried the ball. This isn't a refrigerator type deal, and that's probably a good idea. They should have went to him earlier. He's gotten some yards, more yards than they've had about the whole game, looks like.
Down inside the last 5 seconds. They won't even get into the playoff here in quarter 3. 59-0. Westmar in front after 3 quarters. Football action coming away for Gertis Pharmacy, Adler's, Williams & Company, Sweet 16 Lanes, Neats & Grubs, Custom Interiors, Evans Clothing, and Godfather Pizza. Third down at a yard coming up now for the Trojans of Dakota State. Going to go straight ahead. And they should have enough for the first down.
It's like the big Kern kid hammering up through there
Yep.
again. He got him a first down, 3 legitimate plays on the ground. I think that's got to be about the first for them this game.
Yeah, I don't think they've got many first downs on their own. They've got a couple by penalties.
Right, you bet. That's what I meant. It's against a little weaker defense, not the first string out there all the way, but hats off to them anyhow. There's Charles Hill walking on the sidelines and walking pretty good. I'm glad to see that.
And a little early movement up there in the line of scrimmage. One of the offensive linemen for Dakota State got knocked backwards. Charles Hill is in street clothes on the sidelines, and again, pretty questionable for Thursday night with a bad ankle sprain. But he's here, and that's not in a cast on crutches, though apparently wasn't broken, but it might be a bad enough sprain you could cast and heal it quicker.
Yeah, I don't know how bad it is. He didn't seem to walk too bad there, and he got a big smile on his face, so things don't look too bad. I guess we can just hope for the best and hope to see him Thursday night.
Got about a yard on that play. Second down and 14 coming up for Dakota State. 13:56 to go. This one's been over a long time ago. In fact, by the first quarter, this one was pretty much decided in just a matter by how much. 59-0 your measure right now between the two. It was 45-0 at halftime. The keeper by Skogerbo, the quarterback. Good hit inside by number 48, Jay Jones. 2 200-pound sophomore from Allen, Nebraska for, no, check it, yeah, it was Jay Jones, I believe. Jay's been doing some filming for this ball club up to this point, so even the guy who usually works on top of the press box, he was in a motorcycle accident during the summer, and I didn't think he was supposed to play any football this year yet, but he's projected as maybe a starting linebacker for the ball club next year. He's back in uniform today. They say he's a good one. They said he could have fought for a starting spot this year. Had some back problems. There's Kern. Whoa, what a hit by Jay Jones right in the numbers.
You brought his number up, and I watched him all the way, and he just made a good defensive play, worked his way to the outside, and kept his legs under him, and he knows how to put the helmet on the number and with his strength, and a nice play.
Boy, that was a hit. That's probably the hit of the game. You could hear that clash clear up here.
Yep, he really unloaded on him.
12:35 left to play in this football game. And we've got Terry O'Neill, looks like, back to punt this time. I'm going to give Bransford a rest. He's probably leg weary. He's been punting a lot today. And O'Neill going to kick this into the 39, taken by Holmberg. Joy to the 45, to the 50, looks for that seam. Trying to give ground, get to the outside. He's corralled, and he's going to go down. Couldn't quite pick up a blocking wall. I think it was actually a left-handed return. He ended up going away from his blocking wall.
That's right. He made one cut back upfield and ended up taking it too far, but I guess he had a pretty easy game. He needed a few wind sprints, I guess, and he got him right there.
Chad Samich sets the team down on the Westmar 49-yard line with 12:07 left to go in the ball game. Last home appearance for Westmar this year, unless there could be some postseason action. Going to give back up inside. It's to Bartle, I believe. Yeah, Tim Bartle going to carry the football. Bartle again is a sophomore out of Rippey, Iowa. Been playing on those JV teams, has seen some offensive duty at the varsity level just sparingly when the games have been getting out of hand. Got about 5, second down, 5 to go. It's going to be career high for him. He's got a chance to carry the ball a lot today. Here's Heath Fitzsimmons, and he's going to carry to about the 40-yard line. Should be enough for another Westmar first down. I know Heath Fitzsimmons, the first time I saw him carry the football, and I don't want to embarrass you, Brownie, but he reminds me a lot of Keith Brown when he carried a football. Is that straight-ahead style. None of that fancy stuff, just straight ahead.
He's probably got a little more speed, though. He's trying to outrun guys, and I never could. I never could overrun him either. Or run over him, I better say.
11:26 left to go in the ball game. Pitch out, Fitzsimmons gives a little move inside and tries to get wide. It's going to be strung out and then finally finished up by Tim Sims, freshman out of Reed City, Minnesota. A little loss on that play. Second down, looks like about 13 yards to go with the first down. The Dakota State 43-yard line. Again, it's been a big day for Vern Bolden. 200 yards plus rushing, 4 touchdowns, and runs of 2, 7, 47, and 62 yards. 2 touchdown passes from McClintock to Todd Skolton. Pierce has run for 1. Bartle's run for 1. And Mike Morey, 8 for 8 kicking extra points and has kicked a field goal. Pitch out to Bartle. Bartle going to carry to the 40. Down inside the 40, about the 38-yard line. With 10:35 to go in the ball game. As Westmar, as long as they've got the football, the clock works down pretty fast, and Dakota State gets it and inches off.
That's right. They really kept it on the ground here the second half, of course, with a big lead. But I'm kind of impressed with the second string that's in here. I made the comment at halftime, well, it's going to get ragged. We're going to the second string. But you showed the experience they've got in the JV games and just the quality players here. And they're running kind of a nice, sound offense and really hanging on to the ball well here.
As they get a Bartle, Bartle's going to carry inside the 35, about the 32-yard line. Yeah, once again, some of those offensive linemen that are clearing the path right now. You got Clint McKee, and they're playing center. Tim Lohr and Stan Jins at the guards. Jim Davis is playing one of those tackles. And let's see, the other one is Todd Fowler. Or excuse me, Kevin Fowler over there on the right side at the offensive line spot. Kevin, of course, played just a little bit last year when injuries open up some spots. There's Samich, quarterback, sneaking it for what appears to be the first down as he carries inside the 30 to about the 29-yard line. 9:34 left to go in the ball game. Got an Eagle getting up kind of slow. I think that's Fowler. He's limping his way back to the huddle. Monty Harker going to check in at a wideout spot, and Blaine Bell checks out. Blaine Bell's a guy that's lost some playing time now with the switch over to the wishbone set. Blaine was alternating with White and Skolton pretty frequently early in the season, but now his playing time has been cut back with not using but one white out. There's the option play. Oh, Samich can waltz in to the 20, to the 15, down inside the 10 to the 9. Heck of a fake inside by Samich.
I don't think he knew how good it was. All of a sudden, hey, I'm wide open out here, and he finally tucked it away and went upfield, and a big pickup for him.
He doesn't possess a lot of great speed, and if he had, he'd probably been gone there, but he's pretty effective. He executes well.
That's right, and I don't think his mind was on that he was going to break open with his run, but kind of a tall, long-legged kid, and definitely doesn't show that quickness, but he had adequate speed there on that play.
First and goal at about the 9-yard line. Westmar threatening once again inside the 9-minute mark, and the clock is stopped by Dakota State. Now first and goal on the 9-yard line with 8:59 left to go in the ball game. There's Samich on the keeper again. Got hit from behind and knocked upfield inside the 5 to about the 4-yard line. Again, I want to remind you of the Westmar College alumni basketball game coming up Saturday night. You'll be there, won't you, Brownie?
Got my ticket.
Okay, chili buffet. So that starts at 5. They'll be serving from 5 to 7 at the Westmar Commons. JV game at 5:30, and then the alumni game at 7:30. Tickets are $4. You can pick them up from the players. So look for some of those folks and be there for the chili feed and the alumni game Saturday night. Up the middle, Fitzsimmons, and he'll be in to score. Keith Fitzsimmons gets into the end zone, and Westmar scores their third second-half touchdown. Westmar alumni will open up against, or I should say the varsity will open up on the 17th. That'll be a week from Tuesday against Dakota State. The same football team we're playing today will bring their basketball team to town for the opener on the 17th following that alumni game. And the women open up actually a week from, as we're doing the ball game, a week from today on the 14th. They're at Dakota Wesleyan. Evan Mitchell, Doug Eigelhart has his team ready to go. Mike Morey going to add the point after. And that one's good. 6-0 Westmar. And McPartland going to kick off for the 9th time this afternoon. And Colbert going to take it at about the 15-20. Whoa, big hole right up the middle of the 45-40. Breaks a tackle, dives over the 50. Olstemeyer had him by the shoe tops, ends up getting the tackle, but a long return again for Colbert. That's second long kickoff return. No time for the special team people to be breaking down.
No, that's right. You got that goose egg up there, and the defense wants to keep it. And we read it in the paper. You don't wonder how they got it. So he just about broke through. The kid had some good speed there.
And Dakota State comes up to the line of scrimmage, takes the timeout. I don't know whether they had too many guys on there or what, but Skogerbo going to go over and talk to Coach Larry Trado. First down to the 48-yard line. Skogerbo out of the wishbone, going to pitch it out to Stuckert. Stuckert is going to cut up field and go down about the line of scrimmage. Well, the young kids are showing their ability to swarm tackle like the varsity. And up there to make the hit for Westmar first was Jim DeBoer. Got Jason Dow over there playing the right defensive end spot now. He takes over for Pat Ostermeyer, so we're even down to where we're using some backup for the backup people.
Well, and that's important to these backups. If you're third string, you want to work up the second string, and top importance is to perform in a game. So these guys, it's pretty important for them out here. We kind of look maybe lightly on it, but they want to do everything that they're supposed to and do it a little better.
66-0, and we're about 7.5 minutes away from the finish of this one. There's a juggling act for Stuckert, and you can tell Paul Safford kind of enjoyed making the hit there. He is an aggressive player, and I think he'd love to be playing defense. He just doesn't really have the experience back there yet to earn a cornerback spot.
That's right. He definitely has a football head on him. He's definitely got some emotion, sometimes too much, but he's quick and strong for his size, and he'll see some action if he keeps working at it.
Of course, just needs to channel some of that enthusiasm and aggressiveness. There'll be a defensive, well, in fact, a couple of defensive spots open next year with Joey Holmberg graduating and Marcus Hancher apparently destined to move over to offense. That'll bring Frenchie Holmberg back. He's listed on the program as a senior, but he's told me the other day he's actually a junior by eligibility. They just haven't changed it yet. And, of course, Scott Seeloff will be back for his senior year next year. Skogerbo going down and out, in and out of the hands of Tainter. Boy, they've had a lot of drop passes today. Some have been poorly thrown, some have been dropped.
That's right. There have definitely been some that could be caught out there, and they're not helping the poor Skogerbo at all here.
Todd Case on the coverage there for Westmar. And they got O'Neill back in there to do the punting for That's a one-hopper back to O'Neill. Now the pressure's on, and down he goes. Good hit by Troy Stanley. What else could go wrong, the Trojans say.
That's right. Boy, what a terrible center snap. But kind of a little lobber back to him, didn't give him time, and they had to try and run it out.
And Westmar's going to take over the football on the Dakota State 36-yard line. 1st and 10 right there. 6:34 left to go in the ball game. Westmar leading at 66-0. Of course, another touchdown would surpass their 71-point total that was put on the board 4 weeks ago here against Concordia. There's Bartle. Bartle off tackle to the right. Good hole. Closed down finally by Steve Baum. A fumble in the play apparently, and the Eagles got back on it. Up off top of the pigskin is going to be 57. That'd be Clint McKee, starting center, or I should say the center right now of the ball club. I think more impressively than surpassing the 71 points back, we've done it all this half with backup people, and we're still putting points on.
That's right. We're definitely not trying to run the score up here, and I'm sure Coach Trado knows that on the other side.
Pitch out, Blaine Bell running out of the backfield. Blaine Bell going to carry to the 30, 25, and out of bounds at the 18-yard line. Yeah, and you were commenting, I guess, during one of our breaks a little bit ago, we have not thrown the ball all half.
I just don't remember one, not even a screen at all. It's been on the ground, and we're not trying to really stack it on. We're trying to hold the clock down, and it's second stringers are just doing it to them.
Pick up there of about 12 yards. Blaine Bell carrying the football. I believe that's his first carry. He's in the backfield right now, along with Trent Quick. 2 wideouts playing in the backfield right now. They probably don't even know the plays back there. There's Trent Quick on a little dive play, and Trent going to carry inside the 10 to about the 6. This is kind of like Sandlot football now.
They're going to want to be running back. Say, hey, this is fun. I get 10 yards every time I get the ball. This is easy.
The holes they're getting to run through, I think you and I can still run through those, Brownie.
Go out there.
Down to the 7-yard line. Going to be 2nd down. They need about 3 for the first down, 7 for the touchdown. We're down to the 5:19 mark. Westmar keeping their fingers crossed that somebody somewhere in the top 16 lose in front of them. They can start inching their way up. They're going to need to at least be 16th in the nation, Randy Schmazel says. They would like to get up to about 13th and have a real good shot at the playoffs, they would think. Samich on the keeper. He'll carry to about the 5. Kind of impressed with the poise of Samich today. He's really run this ball club well in the second half.
That's right, and he's got some experience and some of that JV experience, which is valuable, and made no mistakes, made most of the handoffs. I guess they had one pitch that went errant, but he's done a good job. He's the general out there, and he has to run them.
Kern was getting up a little slow. He's got to be tired. He's played on both sides of the football here through most of the second half. Carried the football for a while on offense, running fullback. Now remember, next week's game will be on Friday night after the Thursday game. So this will be our last Sunday game on cable channel 20. There's Quick trying to get to the outside. It wasn't quite quick enough, though.
No, he was working at it, but he strung it out too far.
Number 10 on the carry.
Blaine Bell and Bartle in the backfield now. There's Bartle going off tackle. He's got a touchdown in the second half, and they get to about the 4-yard line. Maybe got a half a yard. They did get the first down on the last one by Quick. So it's 2nd down and goal. Looks like about a little hard to tell the yard line with the field so worn and tattered as it is, but looks like about the 3-yard line. 3:39 left to play in the ball game, and Westmar trying to set a school scoring record here. If they get in on this touchdown, they'll do it. We'll mix up in the backfield. Samich's going to have to eat it back at about the 6-yard line. I'm going to go to Blaine Bell. Paid the price there for having some unfamiliar people in the backfield.
That's right. And it's one thing knowing the plays, but it's another one knowing how to execute them and the timing. It's so important back there, and that was obvious there. Just everybody was going which way, and nobody had the ball where they were supposed to.
Well, the alumni game gets underway at 7:30 Saturday night at the Westmar Gym, and tickets are still available for the chili supper. Contact players, $4 apiece, and the chili feed starts at 5, runs till 7. There's Bartle trying to get wide, and he'll go nowhere. A whole swarm of white shirts. Ball pops out of there, but it was after the fact. Now the Eagles are looking at 4th and goal from about the 7. They're going the wrong direction.
Might not get that record here.
Well, the regular season comes to a conclusion on Thursday night at the Dakota Dome. Never been over there. That's a fun place to watch football. Takes on a whole new, I guess, element of spectacle over there.
Sure does. Seems weird that you're inside somewhere like that playing football. It's a beautiful facility.
Pitch out to Blaine Bell. Blaine trying to get a wide. Breaks a tackle. Now to the 5 and out of bounds right there. He won't get in. And the Trojans going to take over on downs. Looks like at about the 4-yard line. Yeah, I'm kind of anxious to see our wishbone on that turf over there.
That's right. It's a AstroTurf, but definitely makes you quicker. If you're quick, you're going to be quicker on it, and it'll be fun to see these quick little backs. I'd say that Pierce and Bolden and Hill all sure adapt to it pretty well, and it'll really get her untracked.
Larry Trado again takes his team over there to play the opener of that doubleheader over there on Thursday night against Dana. He was saying this will be the last year he's going to take his team down there to play. He doesn't like that AstroTurf. He says it beats the team up too much.
Well, it is hard. You dive on your carpet in your living room if you have it, and it's about the same, but the footing is definitely there, and obviously it's easy to upkeep, but it definitely is hard, and you get a lot of burns. But
new quarterback in there, Corey Winsel, a freshman who's been doing some kick returning today, is in there now playing QBs from West Springs, South Dakota. And no gain on that play. Well, about 2 yards, I guess, on that play. Second down, and they're going to need about 8 yards to go for the first down inside the 2-minute mark here in this fourth and final quarter. Westmar got off to a 28-0 start after, well, 21-0 after a quarter, and by halftime it was 45-0. This one really was never a ball game at the very beginning. Westmar scored their first 3 possessions today. Again, going straight ahead, keeping that clock running. A long old bus ride back to Madison over this ball club.
Sure will. I'm sure there's some bruises, and then they're battered, and their egos have to be blown a little bit too here to get blown out like this.
That was Kern carrying the football, and here they are with 2 rated teams at the end of their schedule. We got number 8 Dana next week with Alan Polk and Brian Mushel on that group. We were impressed with them back in September here.
Sure will. It'll be kind of fun to see them again, and I guess I'd like to be going up there playing them. I'd like to see Westmar and them rematch, because I thought Westmar was a better team that day, but we fell short on the score. But that's a good one they'll have to face again.
Of course, maybe there could be a playoff meeting between the two. That'd be fun. Playing for a little more chips next time. There's the keeper by Winslow, the quarterback, and he'll get nailed in the back by number 95, Ed Syndergaard. Clock keeps running down to the 45-second mark. Tell you again that people bringing you Westmar football: Arnold Motor, Steel Ford, Schuster Grain, Wells Blue Bunny, The Country Kitchen, Reardon Auto, Vern Anderson Equipment, Newble Chevrolet, Cruise and Cruise CPA, Sod's Bar and Grill, Bucky and Foxy's Highlight, Timmy's Cafe, Jean's Plumbing and Heating, Kitchens Incorporated, The Pizza Hut, Hotop Jewelry, Taylor Auto, Joe's Movie House and Appliance in Video City. Safford and Joe Holmberg are back to receive the punt, and O'Neill hits it out of there. Safford going to come up, take it on the run, and just down it at about the 43. A few oohs and ahs from the crowd there with 11 seconds left. They wanted to see him running. He's early had time to run it.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. I thought, well, here we go. He's got a running start on it, but he just kind of misjudged quite where he was. It was short, and there was no fumble, though. He's kind of walking off slow.
First and 10 from the 43-yard line.
Yeah, time enough pride for one more play, and I don't know why anybody wants to stop the clock with a 66-0 score up there on the board. Fans are already heading for the exits. Yeah, they've stuck this out to the end, seeing their football team roll up another big offensive day. Samich just going to go down on one knee, and that should do it. Clock down inside the 10-second mark. It's only a second meeting between these two schools. Westmar goes to 2-0 in the series, winning 21-14 a year ago, 66-0 here today. I guess if you're going to recap the varsity, you've got to shorten it down to one half of football. Vernon Bolden was the name of the day.
Well, that's right. We've known about his talent, and we've seen bits of it, but we really got to see it unleashed. Not only the powerful running we talk about, but I guess I was impressed by his speed today, and he's sure an asset. I guess with Charles Hill a little questionable, it's nice to see someone like that, and we'll still have 2 very capable backs, and even a third yet that can still pick up the slack for Westmar's running game.
Yeah, we see Charles walking around and not using crutches or anything, so obviously there was no break. That much is good. And I would guess maybe not even torn ligaments if he's able to walk around on it, I would think. But obviously a bad sprain, and there's big question marks around him in regards to Thursday night. And how much, I guess, Westmar don't want to risk him at this point if there is to be a playoff possibility for him yet.
Yeah, I'm sure the ratings might weigh a little bit on that this week. He's walking pretty ginger, and Thursday night's going to come awful soon, and to be 100%, and they don't want to play him 80% and re-injure him should there come a playoff game, which I'm sure they're aiming at right now.
He isn't even limping that badly, but he's got it heavily taped. They were working on it when he came back to the sidelines of street clothes, and he's kind of ginger on it, and he doesn't have the shoe on either, so he obviously has got a little swelling there too, but we'll have to wait and see on that. It's going to be a day-to-day thing, I would guess. And this one ends up 66-0. We talked about Vern Bolden's day. He had 200 and some yards early in the second half after his 62-yard gallop to pay dirt to complete a 4-touchdown day, his biggest day obviously here in his career. 2-yard run back in the first quarter, ran for 7 and 47-yard TD scampers in the second, a 62-yard run in the third quarter. Pierce ran one in from 2 yards out to cap off that first touchdown drive that Charles Hill helped set up, going over the school record of 1,130 yards on that first drive. His 38-yard run gave him a little distance between him and anybody else that will pursue him in years to come. So if his senior year ended here this afternoon, a little short of all of the games here on the 1987 schedule. At least he's got that record to his credit. Todd Skolton caught a couple of TD passes today, 64 and 24 yards from Kelly McClintock. McClintock hit 2 passes on 4 attempts, and both were for touchdowns. Bartle scored a touchdown. Fitzsimmons scored one. Mike Morey added a field goal. Morey was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for 9 on extra points and has now hit 35 in a row since that Dana ball game in September. A lot of pluses today, Keith. Nobody seriously banged up outside of Charles, and I guess that was kind of a fear in a game like this. Number one, you'd have a tough time with a winless ball club, but obviously that wasn't a situation, and then nobody really banged up. Charles, the biggest question mark.
That's right, and he is a big question mark, and it sure be nice to see him. It is a position they have some depth in, too, I guess, to look at the bright side. But that's right, they got through it pretty healthy, and on the short week, we can look forward to a little tougher game next Thursday and a very important one for this ball club.
Yeah, Dakota Wesleyan's looking at playoff possibilities yet, too. I think they're like a 6-2 ball club and a week off to prepare for Westmar, so I'm sure they were here taking a look today and didn't get much of a look at the varsity outside of a half. So it'll be interesting. It'll be a big challenge for the kids next week at the Dakota Dome on Thursday night. Remember, you can see that Friday night on cable channel 20 starting at 8 o'clock. And the game itself over at the Dakota Dome will start about 8 or 8:30. It'll be second half of a doubleheader when the Dana Dakota State game winds up. 66-0 here, the final again. Westmar goes to 7-2. They won 5 in a row, and Dakota State goes to 0-9, and they'll wrap it up next Thursday night against Dana at the Dakota Dome in the front half of that doubleheader. Thanks to our sports-minded firms, to you, Keith Brown, for your help, Mike Side, and we'll see you again next week from the Dakota Dome. So long.